Hi, in this video we're going to talk about how to skip some of the bone simulation for animation and the physics. So let's first open our example file. The sample 63 noise logic 1. We usually use this file for take an example. Let's first make displacement down to 1. And now you can see that this is very simple. The agent, the origin agent, is kind of this man, and their logic default is walk, and with the logic of the walk action. So when you place your agents and play back the simulation, you can see that this is just simply walk. Okay, we are going to do some of the modification on this agent. So the first thing we need to introduce is that for sometimes, if your bone structure is extremely complex, for example, like this hand, you can see that there are a lot of joints. And in some case even there contain a lot of the fingers. It will decrease your simulation speed because our system will calculate each one of the joint inside of your system, so that you want to disable some of them. In this case, if this shot is really far from the scene, such like this, so you want to disable the rest of the joint. So you want to disable the simulation on this joint for animation. So what we're going to do is pretty simple. We need to select the joint, the bone shape, the one by one, and select them. And you can see that there are some of the flags onto the origin agent channel box. There's skip animation flag here. This is off. That means we do not skip. If we enable this and place our agents again and play back the simulation, you can see that the hand, the arm is straightly and without any of the animations. But please see that the right hand, there's the animations here. You can see that just like this. So this means our simulation system skip this joint of the hand and the arms, lower arm, and some of the fingers. This can increase the speed of your simulations. So this is how to skip the animations for some of the bones. So if you want to see more of them, we can select the more joint. For example, we can disable the arm, the upper arm, and here and shoulders, such as this. And let's disable that by enable this skip element flag and place our agents. You can see that when you play back the simulation, the arm is entirely skip the animation simulations, just like this. So this is a method can sometimes increase your simulation speed. Okay, and the next thing we are going to talk about is how to skip the physical simulation for some of the joints. So let's create the physical simulation for this agent. For example, let's create a force field firstly. This is a spot, and change the spot from the only spot to the only field. So this is kind of a force field. Let's put it this right here and make the radius. Let's scale this out. Okay, it cannot be scaled. We needed to increase this like this. And when our agent step into that, for example, the frame 27, we needed to enable the dynamics for the agent. Let's just create another logic dynamic. Okay, and the input language is the scene information current frames greater than 27. And the output decision is enable dynamics simulation. Okay, but there's no force field. Let's just increase the magnitude of this. For example, 10,000, like this, or even bigger, 5,000, 50,000. Okay. And at this time you can see that each one of the joint is simulation, including the fingers, the hand, and the arms. For sometimes if your scene contains a lot of joints And for example, the hand contained each one of the fingers, and each one of the fingers contained a lot of the joints. You needed to skip some of the simulation instead of to combine them. For example, in this case, we want to disable the hand simulation, so it can increase the simulation speed. Let's do that. Here you can see that. Let's just select the hand, and we needed to enable. We need to enable the disable dynamic subtree. So let's just enable that. And for the right hand side, let's just also disable dynamic subtree. Let's just enable this, and let's run the simulation again. And you can see that the joint from that hand is disappear. So that means our system skip that and do not create the joint from the hand. So this is very useful if you're and the arm and hand is very complex. So you can just directly skip that instead of the combine or simulate that. So this not only can increase the speed of the simulation, but also it can avoid some of the problems. You can directly skip that the fingers, if the tiny joint, so that it can avoid some problem happen. So you can see that this is what we are doing. So here we just first introduced how to skip the animation and then skipped the dynamic simulations. Okay, that is it. Thank you for watching. See you next time.